Hey knitters and gamers, so I am starting on the back portion of the inspired Fortnite choice emote sweater for the ugly sweater design, holiday sweater. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave a tail. I have my red yarn, I have my size 8 knitting needles, and I'm using it in the round. It's a great way to practice on knitting in the round. It's the same way as straight knitting needles, but all you're doing is going back and forth when you're doing it. You're not connecting it. So I'm using size 8 knitting needles, and you can use any type you like. I'm using bamboo knitting needles. And grab your red yarn. This is red heart yarn because they're very super savvy, and it's acrylic yarn and it washes in really well when you're done with your sweater afterwards. All right, so all I did was I left a decent amount of a tail because we are casting on 112 stitches for this particular sweater. Now I base this off of my size. Normally my sizes are kind of various, but when you're designing something you have to leave a little bit of easement also too. So we went to like a 1x XXL to see how it will fit, because when you're testing any kind of a pattern out, the variations of the stranded knitting that's involved and the designing portion of it is flat pattern. So you're going to have your seam to do your stitch later. Like you're going to use your yarn and stitch up the seams later. So keep that all in mind when you're knitting. All right, so let's go ahead and let's cast on. I'll do a short video to show you the long tail cast on method for this sweater. So we're going to be casting on 112 stitches, but I'll just do a small tutorial for those that need a refresher, or for those that would like to see how to cast on within the round knitting needles. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so first thing you want to do is you want to leave a long enough tail so you're not retaking out all your stitches if possible. It happens, but even if you have a little bit of longer, you can just cut it. All right, so first things we're going to do, the first step is crisscross the yarn, and then you pull it through to create your knot. Okay? So we have our knot. We're going to pull that a little tight, but not too tight, okay? So we make our knot. And then what we're going to do is, so we have the ball of yarn and we have the tail, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to have our index finger and our thumb, okay? So we have our index finger, okay? So it's like a little tent. It's like a little tent right now. You have your tent. And then you go, okay? And then what you do is, it's kind of like a slingshot. Through the side, kind of like a slingshot. And then what you're doing, you're grabbing the outside of the thumb, you're moving it in through the hole, and then you're just kind of securing it. We don't want it too tight, because when you start knitting, it's going to be so hard to knit. So you don't want it too loose, because your stitches at your edging will be very loose. So what we're going to do now is do the same thing. So you have like your tent, okay? Through, pull it a little bit. We're going through there, under, and we're going to go ahead and secure that. Look it, we have 3 stitches so far. You got this. Let's go. All right, so we're going to go ahead under, over, secure that. So far we have 4 stitches. We want to do 121 stitches to cast on. So this also helps practice a little more with more stitches. So say if you're familiar with doing a scarf where you're only casting on 30 stitches, depending how wide you want your scarf, you're now getting into the process of designing a little more with flat pattern design. So we're doing the knit and purl. So let's go ahead. Okay. You got this. Okay. There you go. And you just keep going. Just keep going. And this is the long tail cast on method. And you just keep going. Okay. Just keep going. All right. So that's how you do the long tail cast on for the starting of the inspired Fortnite choice emote sweater. So I'm going to start working on the back portion of it, and I will start knitting that sweater. I usually go live on Twitch to do a lot of tutorials of knitting. Link will be down below. And then I post a lot of my videos afterwards to YouTube to get the feel of the knitting experience. You can watch me live in real time on Twitch. And then later you can view it on YouTube and knit at your own pace. That's the lovely part of this. All right, everyone. Thank you for watching. Please hit the subscribe button, comment, and I will see you next time. Happy knitting! Bye, everyone!